Okay, and maybe I need
Hello.
to see it, make this taller. Hi.
Hi. How's it going? You good?
I am doing wonderful.
Absolutely. I think
Oh,
probably as usual, wait for.
oh, you know what? While we're talking, I need to go live as well.
Okay.
How do I do that? I'll figure it out at some point.
Has it worked?
I'm so hot.
Hi, Joanna. Got one person joining us already. How you going, Joanna? You good?
I'm trying to.
Just press live, innit?
Yeah, but I have
Or
to remember.
share it. Just share it. Mr. Ranger, good evening, sir. We're just going to be starting our live feed in a sec, man. So we're just going to be, you know what? Actually, Mr. Ranger, we're going to be talking about lyrics in songs. So me and MissFly, hi Kerry, hi Deborah. We're going to be talking about, you know what? I'm going to wait for a few people and then we do the proper introduction. So, but nice to see you, Russ. Give me some jokes today on your live feed. Sorry? Can you hear me? Okay, I thought you were saying something.
I was asking if you were getting an echo.
No, I'm not. Yes. So, okay, so what? We give it another minute or so before we start?
See that? Oh, here again, doubled.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
We good?
Let me log out and rejoin. Hold on.
Okay, cool. Okay, so obviously we've got some technical issues. Yeah, so for those that have joined us already, myself and MissFly, we had what we called our 10 for 10 on the last stream, which was a few weeks ago, which we had a great reaction from everyone that tuned in as well. We had quite a few people that were asking us to do another one. So what we decided, because it's not it's just a talk, we're just having a chat. It's not an interview or anything like that. But we thought for the second one, we were having a conversation the other day about songs and the way that people listen to music. And part of that discussion, we started to talk about lyrics in songs and which songs resonated with us for whatever reason, whether it was a romantic reason, whether it was a social issue that was going on in the world at that time. So we got into it. So what we're going to do, I'm hoping, okay, she wants to join us back, so that's cool. I'm hoping we got better luck this time and the communication is a little bit better. Hi, everyone that's joined us. Fly, you're back?
I am, and now it sounds perfect.
Does that sound better now, yeah? Okay.
Now we're...
So I was just starting off by just telling everyone, hi, Siobhan, basically that the last, what we call the 10 for 10, where we're just talking about music and life and everything like that. And we got a really good response. So we put it out there whether anyone would like us to do another one. So yeah, so here we are. You know, so are you good, MissFly?
I am. I'm doing great, actually.
Okay. So we've got a few people on already. Some of the names I can see. I want to big up Joanna, which I said hello. Russ Ranger, legendary reggae artist from London, from my area in Hackney, East London. Big up Russ Ranger. Funny guy as well. If you don't see his live feed, you need to go check him out. Very funny guy. Respect Russ for coming on tonight as well. Deborah, big shout to you, Deborah.
This is the guy that you sent me something a while ago. He was talking, and then there was three other people involved. Instagram?
In the studio?
No, everybody was at their own house.
No, I don't know.
Hmm.
He's a reggae artist, but he's been around for a very long time, and he's from my area, so I like to rep people from my area, you know.
I know you.
And he's a talented artist as well, man, and he's a very real artist as well. So, Russ Ranger, if you're watching this still, full ratings and full respect for what you do, bro. And you know what? I know it's not the Russ Ranger show, but I think I have to show respect to this guy. A lot of people don't like it when you talk the truth. A lot of people don't like it when you're real. And this brother here is a real guy. So respect to the real people as well that's logging on the stream. Anyway, enough for you, Russ Ranger. We'd have to chat another time. We've got some few people on here. Your dance partner, Morph Tim, Kelly, Sonia, Ryan. Big shout to Ryan as well.
Hi, Ryan.
Ryan's, I think you played your tune, Fly.
Yes, I thank you. Thank you. And I'm glad that you liked it. Sonia, I went to high school with.
Okay.
We're friends for, when was high school? What, 10 years ago?
Yeah.
No, many, many moons ago, 30 years.
Okay, so we've got some old friends and some new friends logging onto the stream. But I think we should get into it. Should we get into it now?
Should.
So
should indeed.
Yeah, so welcome, 10 for 10. It's an idea that me and MissFly, a concept of an idea that we would discuss different topics, different ideas. It doesn't have to be stuff that we come up with. It could be stuff that you guys at home or on the stream would like us to talk about. So today, we talked about lyrics, weren't we, the other day?
Yeah, we were. We were talking about how lyrics have changed in the last, I guess, 30 years. And now, you know, there's some nuggets out there still, but for the most part, there's a lot of wash away tracks, wash away. So, and what I find is that what people tend to listen to in a club or on a stream is not necessarily what they listen to at home. Yeah. So I'm always interested in what people listen to at home rather than what they do in a venue. Yeah.
Do you think the environment of where you hear a song has an impact on how you actually hear the song? Because based on what you just said, listening to a tune in your car might not be the same music lyrically as the tune you might be winding down to on a Saturday night in a club. Yeah,
so what tends to happen is there was a, I don't know if it was a meme or a video, but it's like you driving home and you have the music cranked up and you're listening to some gangster rap, for instance. Then the next morning you get in your car and you go to start it and you realize the volume is still high and it's gangster rap and you're like, nope. It's like, so it does. I mean, you mentioned it the other day about a song, listening to a particular song, and then if it's a certain type of day, you know, the song hits you differently than if it's, you know, like nighttime, it might hit you differently than the day.
I just want to send a shout going out to Joe Brooks. She says definitely where you hear the song. Yeah. You know. And what you connect with the song as well. It's also a big one. Yeah, you could hear a song that you know, heard when you were a kid and have all of these feelings about, and then you hear it and you're like, what was I listening to? You know? Because I think lyrics are powerful, because you can have a conversation with somebody and somebody could say something and there's a song that's got lyrics to that song, you know? For me, there's a song or there's lyrics for every occasion, because it's the language that we speak, basically, is what we're singing, isn't it? Yeah, so in the other caveat to that is, how many times have you and I totally slipped my mind what I was about to say, and it was so good too. I completely. Evening going out to Michael, thanks for joining us as well. But yeah, so I mean, I've always found that there's a song for every situation. So I mean, basically what we're going to do tonight is we've got 5 songs each. I mean, this was like a really hard thing to. And don't get me wrong, guys, this isn't our favorite song, because I don't do the favorite lists. You know, like people have their favorite number. I have so many favorites for different reasons. So we just picked 5 songs each, right? It was a struggle. It was a struggle. I found that I was listening different to music as well, knowing that we were being tasked with this. So I was
music and going, wow, that's a good lyric. Okay, well, no, that's not as good.
Yeah.
Or a different appreciation for music, listening to lyrics.
Yeah.
Now, what I was going to say, when you sing, you can sing things that you normally can't say.
Yes.
Because if you said, you would sound like a scary, potentially crazy person.
Mm-hmm.
But if you, there's people on dance floors in the dead of night dancing to gospel tracks,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the house. So
it's the house music that they're listening to.
Yeah, it works. So, if you can combine great lyrics with great music.
And that's a good point what you mentioned, because a lot of like soulful house music, a lot of it is quite gospel, or it is gospel.
Mm-hmm.
And when you say to someone, "Oh, you like gospel?" they say, "No, I like house music." You go, "But you're listening to gospel though." Because they're not actually listening to the lyrics necessarily, but it's the music and the production that's carrying them on.
That's right. So, and you find yourself that, we were talking about Just Give Me the Light.
Yeah.
Don Paul track, and having to do it at karaoke and having to read the words and realizing it just doesn't work.
It doesn't.
No.
And also I find if you have the lyrics written down on paper, like, usually you hear a song before you read the lyrics, if you buy a song, right? But when you read the lyrics back, sometimes you think, wow, there's a serious message in this song. But you kind of, because the music was so great, you kind of overlook the lyrics. But when you read it back now, you think, wow, there's a real strong message in there. Or sometimes it's absolute fart. You think, what the hell are they talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. So we talked about with them work with it, right? They were all, listeners of hip hop. And so I asked them to write out their favorite hip hop song, whatever they were listening to. They wrote out the songs, and then I asked the kids to read it out in front of the class.
Mm-hmm.
And the boys got really embarrassed and really nervous. And I said, well, you bopping your head to it when you came in the room.
Mm-hmm.
We're calling these girls, we're calling the girls names.
Mm-hmm.
And they hurt themselves. They stressed and struggled to say them. Yeah. So I always say music is the words have power. So wield them with purpose, and remember what you're listening to, what you're taking in. Like, how many times have you been in the shower 8 hours after listening to your last song and you sing the words? So it's right in your brain all the time.
Good point. Shout out to Richie Leader as well, top DJ. He mentions Barbara Tucker, Dawn Tallman being gospel singers. Absolutely right, Richie. There you go. A lot of these vocalists come from a very church background, don't they? In fact, a lot of soul singers essentially come from that soul or that gospel church background, don't they? Yeah,
Crystal Lavelle is a gospel singer.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah. Big shout to Ace Shalon as well on the stream. Good evening, Ace. You good? Deborah's on as well. Lyrics always draw me in. Absolutely. Joe Brooks, I'm agree with everything you're saying, guys. Spot on. I am going to try and keep up with the comments, guys. So if I do miss one, I do apologize from the get-go.
This is the best thing about doing this with you, because you do this every single week. Sometimes you have a skill set that I have not mastered, which is keeping up with the chat, because I'm watching it and I'm thinking, oh, yeah, and I'm answering it, but I'm not saying anything.
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
For being
appreciative.
Yeah.
So So we managed to kind of choose 5 songs, isn't it, really, where we liked the lyrics. Or so what we're going to do is we're not going to go through the whole song. We're not going to go through the whole lyric. But there's certain lyrics in some songs which, resonated with us. Do you want to go first? Ladies first and all that?
And all that. All right. What I did was I printed out my 5 top, songs that I liked. And I highlighted the parts of the songs that I liked. And what I was thinking is, if anybody in the chat has another song by the same artist, they could chime in, and then we could, perhaps talk about that song.
Yes.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so my first is "If I Was Your Girlfriend" by Prince.
Big tune.
And the lyric I like, it's actually a whole verse. It says, "If I was your girlfriend, would you let me dress you? I mean, help you pick out your clothes before you go out. Not that you're helpless, but sometimes those are the things that being in love's about. If I was your one and only friend, would you run to me if somebody hurt you, even if that somebody was me? Yeah, even if that somebody was me. Sometimes I trip on how happy we could be.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Right?
Powerful lyrics, man.
I need to see that.
That's quite detailed as well, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean,
Evening Juliet, evening Broderick. So
I think that, yeah, go ahead.
Let me get the promotion up and running. Would you like to come and do a PA? Richie Leader's promoting. When the promotion's up and running, would you like to come and do a PA for them? Over here in London.
Yeah, of course.
It's a no-brainer.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah. So in that lyric there now, he's really he's painting a picture there. You could actually picture him in that room with her, helping her choose her clothes out, you know.
So, you know, I think, okay, so you're gonna find with a lot of the tracks that I chose, well, I shouldn't say a lot of them, it's kind of both. What I find is that men of that era, we're in a different era. And I think there's a lot of social reasons why men are young boys now and young adults now, especially young Black boys, are very different than our fathers were with how they romanced, is because some of them don't necessarily have role models that they can watch do these things. So the intimacy between a husband and a wife, I'm sure there's secrets between every husband and a wife that if everybody else knew, they'd be like, wow, you guys are really corny. But I think those things are the things that tie relationships together. So I mean, shoot, I want somebody to pick out my clothes. Why not?
But that's like intimacy though, isn't it? That's real intimacy, exactly. Isn't it? I think I think intimacy doesn't always have to be sexual, does it?
No, not at all. Intimacy, sexuality and intimacy are sort of parallel and they intertwine at times, but you can be extremely intimate and not sexual within the confines of the relationship. I mean, you know. So
there's a comment there. Hi Rob from Chicago as well. I'm trying to keep up with the comments and stuff. Let me just get back to Mark Henderson. Says, yes, it's interesting lyric, like, can a man be as close to his woman as a female friend can? I think even closer, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, well, even the next line of that that part was, would you run to me if somebody hurt you, even if that somebody was me? I think, you know, I
don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Women will run to their girlfriends, right? And usually, I mean, if you have good girlfriends, you get good advice. But if you have, you know, girlfriends that don't have relationships, sometimes you can get some corrupted advice, you know?
True.
Girl, you need to tell him. If I was in a situation and my partner hurt me, I would want him to be the first person I talk to about it.
Naturally.
That's the kind of relationship that I want. So I would imagine that that it's a hard thing to do, to go to the person that has hurt you and still want to be comforted by them. Right? So what was what was your thing about it now? What did you say? You're not sure about that?
I guess with context, you know, that's possible, but just the idea of running to the person that's hurt you, I mean, that's quite a real deep, meaningful place to be with somebody. But then again, you know, people can hurt you unintentionally. People can hurt you in different ways. It doesn't have to be like the end, does it? If someone's hurt your feelings in that context, I guess, if you love that someone enough, you maybe want to try and work it out, maybe.
And also, there's varying degrees of hurt. We're just talking about surface stuff, but there's lots of deep hurts that happen in many relationships. People work through them and they carry on in life and they go forward and they, you know, have healthy relationships. So I think it all has to do with not only communication, but comprehension and understanding and really really wanting to be the best person for the other person.
Again, some more comments. Broderick, intimacy between real and real. The real, yes. Rob says, great point. Exactly that. Prince depicted the exact intimacy that all women want. Okay, that's an interesting point.
But it also takes, this is what I was talking about with men of the younger generation, because there is a missing component. You know, people used to say, if you want, like if you want your daughter to marry a man like you, dote on your wife, because she is going to pick somebody that she sees that can emulate that same type of relationship. So if you can be that partner for your woman, then she has no reason to go nowhere else, ever.
Yeah, no pressure, guys. We just got to be.
And vice versa.
Sorry?
Vice versa.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely. It's got to be a two-way street, hasn't it, really? It can't be ever one-way traffic. That's never going to really. And that's probably not fun, is it, really, if it's just one way, you know? So Rob's got an acronym for love. It's life's opportunities vibrantly expressed. That's nice. I agree with being the best person one can be for their better half, and probably for yourself as well, isn't it? A better you makes you a better partner.
And if you are in the process of healing or better yourself, the partner that you're going to attract is going to reflect.
Should we just talk about relationships and just chuck this away? Should we just talk about relationship? Not that I'm any expert, by the way, or qualified in any way. I've got experience, but giving out advice on people's relationships, I'm not too sure about that.
Just sharing.
But
okay.
But Joe made a really good point. Prince had a way of writing songs, didn't he? And making music as well. He's a genius.
There was a joke that Prince could walk up to you and your woman in a club and take your woman, and you'd be like, "Well played, Prince." I mean, he had that kind of persona that he could, you know, you would be honored if he took your woman.
Yeah. Where's your girl? She went with the little guy. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. The little guy. Yeah, yeah. She'll be back tomorrow when he's finished. Yeah. Women have a real intimate relationship with Prince, don't they? I mean, I know we're slightly going off topic, but if you look stereotypically at what, you know, sexy is or what, you know, handsome is, it's usually the big hunk guy, the chiseled looks. But Prince had his own thing going on. I'm talking about very general, of course. But Prince had his whole thing with the makeup thing and the dress sense. I think he was out there for sure.
When you learn as men that the physical part doesn't matter. It's what's up here.
For some.
For most women, it's up here. And Prince played with this. Prince made you feel things. You could listen to The Beautiful Ones. You could listen to that 20 times in a row and still get the feeling, you know, and still wish that you could be that with somebody. So that's how he could pull any woman he wanted.
Can everyone hear us okay out there? Can someone let us know if you can hear us clearly? Sounds all right to me. Another comment from Rob. Thanks for your contribution, Rob. Loving this. Some of the best songs are written as a result of what one may have experienced in life and relationships. That's a very, very true point.
I like too. It's a Jedi mind trick.
Take your woman either heels and makeup on.
What? Where's that?
Mark Henderson, take your woman either high heels. Okay. Big shout out to Heather, loving the banter. Hi, Nicola. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
High heels and makeup on.
Yeah. But he was the little guy, though.
Yeah, I think he was maybe 5 foot. I mean, I'm giving him 5'2". I mean, he was little bit. Like, he just wasn't little. He was in your front. You know where you put the lighter or the change pocket? Like, he could fit in there. He was that tiny. He's just a little guy.
He's a legend, man. It's funny. I never really appreciated Prince till I was a lot older, because I think as a younger person, I was into hip hop a lot when I'm reggae. So obviously his style, it didn't fit with hip hop and reggae. So I was kind of like, oh yeah, he's Prince. He's a big pop star. But I guess as I matured and sort of got more into music, then I really appreciated his talent and as an artist, you know, what he represented, and the legacy that he left, man. You know.
Well, he also wrote for. I mean, he wrote for Shaka Khan. He wrote for I'm Every Woman. He wrote for. He actually wrote a really beautiful song, which I can't remember the name of it now, but he didn't sing it. Sinead O'Connor, Nothing Compares to You, was a Prince track. Yeah. I mean, he really tapped into just, you know, the love muscle, really, and just put everything out on a track. And not everything worked. I mean, I will say there was a couple, and I think that was the time where he was fighting the record label, where some of the tracks that he was putting out weren't quite as mainstream. But if you are an aficionado, I mean, you listen to it same way. So
you got a fan on the stream, Rob, from saying that you're his favorite soulful house singer.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Deborah, Sister Patty, she's saying her brother Nelson, Prince is my favorite artist, will forever love him. Yeah, man, he left a great legacy behind, for sure.
Yeah, he sure did.
So that was a great song that you chose there, and one of many Prince songs I imagine that you could have chosen.
Yeah, but you know what, that song in particular, it's that lyric. It's more about that lyric, and him saying, you know, if I was your girlfriend, you know, if I was your best friend, would you honor me more than you do with your man?
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, your turn.
Okay, so again, growing up in my household, like listening to a lot of reggae and a lot of conscious music, conscious lyrics were one of the first things that I always kind of heard when I was listening to records. So, and one of the songs that I picked, I actually saw this artist live in 1989. I was part of this project at school about I got chose to do a couple TV programs to talk about growing up in inner city London and the education system, and so they invited me to be part of this project, which was encouraging people or young men like myself to go into university. So we did this long sponsored walk and to raise money and awareness. So we went and done this presentation at the university, and on one of the Saturday nights, Edwin Star is on the stage. So I'm like,
really?
Yeah. So of course my parents listened to Edwin Star. I already know who he was. So my friends were like, who's Edwin Star? I go, this guy's like some soul legend, man.
Yeah.
So, but I couldn't remember what song that he sung at the time. And then he sung War. And then as soon as he started singing that song, I thought, wow, this song's like, you know, this is like, what was this, about late 80s, 88, 89? And I mean, there's always a war going on somewhere in the world. So this is one of those songs that, unfortunately, is going to live the test of time, because unless, you know, the world changes and becomes a lot better place. But one of the lyrics which I will read out to you is, "Oh, war is an enemy to all mankind. The thought of wars blows my mind. War has caused unrest within the younger generation. Induction, then destruction. Who wants to die?" It's deep, isn't it?
Wow.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
So when you're in the club going, "War, what is it good for?" Yeah. Read between the lines, because that's what I think about. When you go to war, you got to recruit people, haven't you? You need an army to recruit. So you're recruiting people that are willing to give their lives, because there's no guarantee anyone can return back from war. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Actually, I was just looking up. So this song was released in 1970.
Originally.
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's
So that's around Vietnam time.
Well, so the song is 51 years old. Is my point. That's my point.
See what I'm saying?
And it's as that.
And how relevant is that today?
Massive.
See.
I think a lot of those artists back then as well were sort of doing the war cry kind of song, and they were giving a voice to soldiers and people, and you know, most people will tell you what they signed up for and what they actually saw was two completely different things.
Absolutely.
So I go out to people who serve because that is a commitment, and it's a pretty powerful one because what they actually do over there versus what we know.
It's two different things, you know.
Very.
Big shout out to Rob for confirming it was after the Vietnam War.
Yes.
That came about, and that's another thing. Like a lot of those artists at that time, they weren't just musicians. You know, I've said this before. I think on the last live that we did, that they were social commentators, and they used their voices to, like you just mentioned, really speak for the masses, for people that didn't have a voice, that felt the same way as the majority of people did, you know, at that time.
And frustration. I mean, there was a lot of frustration around the, you know, we live in an era now where if we think about, if a war happened now, we would have more access to information. More people are talking. Back then, there wasn't anything. No. You were writing
a letter. You know, so lucky.
You were writing and putting it in a dove's mouth, and you know, or a carrier pigeon. Like that's, we're going back 51 years ago.
Yeah.
And people who were suffering with PTSD and all of those things weren't even recognized. So we've come a long way, but we've come a long way, and we're still doing the same. We're still fighting over stuff. You know, we used to tell kids who are fighting at the corner, you know, for drug corners or whatever, you know, and they come and put a Starbucks up. We're doing the same thing on a planet. You know, we're fighting over areas that inevitably don't belong to us. We have the opportunity to live on this planet, but we don't own it. We're guardians.
Of course not. We've got a question. Yeah. We've got a question from Mark Henderson, if you can see it.
Yeah.
Do you feel it's an artist's responsibility to speak about their times?
I guess this is directed towards
me. Well, you're the artist.
I think so, yes, but I think there's a way that it can be done. You don't have to speak on everything that comes across your table. I tend to speak about love. That's what I speak. I speak about love and kindness. And when I do that, I feel like I'm telling people, keep your head up. I know that it's stressful, but as long as we can take care of each other and find the connection with each other, then we can treat each other kindly. I mean, we have to treat each other kindly on this planet because it's hard. It's very hard. So yes, I do think as an artist, you are gifted with the ability to appeal to the masses. And the ones that do tend to have a lifelong, not just a career, but just a lifelong love of, and given love.
Fully.
So I don't know if that was a good answer or not, or that was made sense.
Well, I guess if you have a voice, you generally have a responsibility, whether you like it or not.
And it all is decided on what you think your voice was given to you to do. There are people who, you know, are very dissident about the fact that they have a great voice. You know, and I believe that ancestral connection, these were the gifts that were given to me to do what I'm doing. And then my gift to, you know, the next generation is something else. So yeah, I have to take what I've given and use it as a tool.
Absolutely.
It's figuring out what to do with it, I think is the tough. But yeah, I'm all about lending my voice to something.
Positive. Siobhan says that's a great answer. Mark Henderson says makes sense. So yeah. So I hope that answers your question. Was it Mark that answered that question? Asked that question? Yeah, Mark. I hope that answers your question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that song there. Ever since that time I heard it, every war that I've seen on the TV or that's ever been broadcasted, those lyrics always come back to me. Imagine you recruit someone, you know, and then when you think about like boy soldiers in countries where we've got boys growing up as soldiers, carrying guns, carrying weapons, induction, then destruction. Who wants to die? Some of these people, they don't have a choice.
Some of these children willfully will do it as a sort of badge of as a corrupt badge of honor, not because they're corrupt, but they've been corrupted.
Yeah, for sure.
But in all fairness, most of those situations are happening because of Westerns' greed into lands that don't belong to them.
Yeah.
So when you go into another person's country and you start saying to people, which, I mean, that is a history we have for 400 years, when you say to one group of people, if you bring us something, we will you know, reward you handsomely, you're going to then have to garner a whole bunch of people to fight. So I guess that's what war is really about.
Always.
Right.
But also there's another few lines, like for balance, which I quite like. It says, peace, love and understanding. Tell me, is there no place for them today? They say we must fight to keep our freedom, but Lord knows there's got to be a better way. So it's always about that hoping for better, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Praying for a change. That message hasn't really changed for the last 50 years, has it really?
No, I don't think so. I think they're very simple. It's a very simple question. Like, how much longer can we do this kind of thing?
Yeah, for sure.
I think a lot of people now, with the ability to be able to chat with people across the world, are definitely starting to see the veil is starting to be pulled away, so you can actually see what's going on. You know, the revolution
will not be televised, but it is. It's happening right in front of us right now, every single day of every week.
Yeah,
we're finding out about.
That's my honorable mention as one of great lyrics, but
Gil Scott Heron.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, he's a poet though. He was a poet though.
Still.
I mean, like, yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, there's artists and there's like wordsmiths, and you know, there's so many like levels to lyrics. And some people just really can take it there when it comes to words and lyrics. This is why, like, when we decided to do this, it was like, because like we've been speaking throughout the week, and I've been saying like my list has changed almost on a daily basis. The other day, I put the radio on. I would listen to Jimmy Cliff, Many Rivers to Cross, and I was like, oh, that's a tune, but I've got like 20 songs already with great songs in it. So, you know what I mean? But yeah.
And the other thing, one of the things we talked about was, I listen to a lot of different types of music. And what we really wanted to strive with this was to give music that most people would know, or most people could find if they YouTubed it or whatever, which I will be providing in the comments or after, just the list that we had. But I listen to some things that are so far out there that I don't even know what they mean. Like Erykah Badu, for me, she writes things that I'm just like, what planet did you?
Erykah's got her own language.
Yeah, where she weaves things together. So I think, you know, you sort of have to it's like what you like and whatever motivates.
Yeah, because some people, I mean, I'm big into lyrics really in songs, and I know some people just like the music, some people just like the rhythm of the song, so they will just, you know, kind of focus with that. It's like, you know, give the example of like dancehall music, like, you know, slackness. When girls are winding up on the dance floor, and man's talking about, whining at your panani and all sorts of things. I don't think they're consciously, I don't know, maybe now, I don't know. But I'm thinking if you really sat down and listened to the lyrics, like you think, okay. But well, again, and I think it was Joe that says, depending on where you are, it sounds differently. You know, you wouldn't have that with your parents round for dinner on Sunday, panani lyrics, stomping that. Well, I wouldn't anyway. Maybe some people would, but I wouldn't personally do that. But if I was in a club and that panani tune come on, yeah, I'm down.
I wonder if when you know, if men were talking about panani in a very strong way, then I could see it being a celebrated kind of song. But when they're singing about it, like they want mash it up, they want her to go, fling the girl, all this other stuff. You know, when it's not my thing.
So sometimes I think when those artists have got the pen and the paper, I go, right, I'm gonna mash up this girl, pum pum. What rhyme with that? And then we go, turn it back with you. We're gonna do that.
Yes.
Yeah, man, that sounds good. Right, I'm going studio.
Yeah.
I got lyrics. Yeah, but that's how it goes, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but again, it's one of those things that if you took all these women and you got them to read that song, they'd be like, "What?"
Yeah. And funny enough, Siobhan's just said years ago she danced to some songs that didn't know the words in the clubs.
Oh, yeah, I mean. It's funny because like we were talking earlier, as you get older, you realize, oh, that's what that meant. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So.
And Rob's made another good comment as well. Listen to the music, but hear the words.
Yeah, I think in a club atmosphere, you tend to not hear the words as much as you hear the beats, right? It's sort of the same way that you will hear, you know, the N-word in certain songs and be in a venue and look around and everybody's saying the word and you're kind of like, oh, I don't like this. But they're just caught up in
I'll give you an example of that.
Yeah.
About, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, went to a festival. One of the big London festivals. It was in Finsbury Park at the time, and Kendrick Lamar was the headlining act, and so he come on stage. You know, he was smashing it, and then he done this tune called "We're Gonna Be Alright," and I don't know if any of the guys online know that tune, but the main line of the tune is "Nigga, we're gonna be alright." So I'm kind of at the back because I'm old, and all these youngsters are at the front. And then as the song's playing, the music's come on, everyone's dancing. Then all I know is, I look round, there's like about 1,000 white kids going, "Nigga, we're gonna be all right." And I was like, wow. But in that context, like we're talking about, that's the lyric to the song. Someone wrote those lyrics. But again, because it's a song, do people feel it's more comfortable to say that? Because it was a weird feeling. For me, it was just a weird feeling. And you know, the thing is, they weren't racist, they weren't being nothing like that. They were jamming to Kendrick Lamar, you know.
Yeah.
No, not V Festival. There's another one of those ones. Love Box. Might have been Love Box. Might have been Love Box. I can't even remember, you know.
Ace said his only reggae song that he knows is Coca-Cola Baka Shepa Iterani.
Who's that, Ace?
Yeah.
Ace, you're about 30 years behind, mate. But I know that tune though, it's a big tune.
So again, this is, you know, I struggle with that as well. It's interesting. Ace and I were having a conversation a while ago, and I shared with him one of my favorite tracks of music, which I don't talk about because it says that word. And so I'd never post it.
Yes,
but it's important.
I know the song.
Yeah, and I'll say it because we're here. Niggers is Scared of Revolution. And The Last Poets. And
they're a powerful group as well, the Lost Poets.
Yeah.
My dad was religious. That's the kind of music I grew up listening to in my house. that conscious,
Look at
deep
you.
stuff, man. You know.
Yeah, the psychological stuff that they were talking about is still relevant now, and you know, you can't have revolution without change, and if you can't have change, you can't complain. If you don't want to have change, you can't complain about your circumstance, and in order to have change, you sort of have to be unafraid. And so that's what that song's about. I mean, I didn't choose it, but I will add it to the list of YouTube.
The tracks that you're going to post,
Yeah, so that if you want to listen to it, you can. But it's one of those tracks that you take it all in. So, but I get very uncomfortable watching people say that word just very flippantly. And then say, well, you know, it's in the song.
But then if maybe people didn't use the word in the first place is an argument also.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same argument as women who, you know, will use the word bitch. There was a time where that word was very derogatory, and then women were like, bitch, hey bitch, like they took it on their own. But it can still be said derogatory. So I don't know. It's one of those things where I get it from both sides. I just don't know.
It was just weird. It was just a weird moment. Like,
yeah.
And as I say, the kids weren't. I mean, I say they're kids. They're like young adults, but they weren't doing anything like, you know, they weren't freaking, you know, burning torches or nothing like that. It wasn't that. They were just into the music. You know what I mean? So it was a bit of a strange one. But there's a comment from Joe.
Ryan, sorry, Ryan's going. So bye, Ryan. Thank you for joining us. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, maybe you could answer Joe's one. Can you see it? I think it went up. Don't you find that you may not necessarily like a song, but if you've been out and have that awesome memory, you can love it. So defo where you hear it. Okay, so that's going back to where we hear a certain song at a certain time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, you know, one of the songs that Wind Beneath My Wings. Bette Midler, you know, it was great, but it has a connection for people in my family, and therefore, you know, when it comes on, we're singing it at the top of our lungs. So
I'm just I'm looking at Siobhan's comment. She said you can't remember the song now, but it was bad. No wonder I had a circle of men around me. Could have died when I learned of the words. Yeah.
Don't worry, Siobhan, we've all had that night.
You know what, right? There's a comedian over here, and again, I've just forgotten his name, but he does a great sketch, and I'm sure someone on the stream now would know what I'm talking about. The chubby guy from up north, and he talks about how you hear songs in a totally different way than what the actual lyrics are. So if I can find it, I'll post it later, but he actually demonstrates it. So he says a particular song, and it's totally different. When he plays the original, for some reason, your brain hears what he's been saying, because half of the people have been saying the same words. Peter K, thank you, Siobhan. Peter K.
Nice.
So anyone that's seen that sketch, it is quite funny. It is quite funny. Anyway. Okay. So you got another song?
I do. Okay, so my second song is Cigarettes and Coffee by Otis Redding.
Wow. Them boss tunes.
Oh, I'm in love with a stripper. Somebody come get her. Is that the song? She's dancing like a stripper. Sam, is that the song? If not.
Love the song. So how does that work then? You love the song but hate the words.
Oh, you know what that is? Homie. Not hate the words. When we listen to Homie, we don't hate the words. But when like you listen to
it,
yeah.
So it's a bit like anyway, there's too many other songs that you could actually on that note, you know. But so what's the other song you got then?
Cigarettes and Coffee by Otis Redding.
Wow.
Okay. Whew. This one gets me. And my whole and whole my heart cries out. And whole my heart cries out. Not my whole heart. And whole my heart cries out. Love,
Well,
love, I know. Love at last, I found you. Oh, now, and honey, won't you let me just build my life, just build my whole life around you.
that's some deep, deep, deep lyrics.
Right? And while I complete my whole life would be if you would take things under consideration and walk down this aisle with me. Come on.
Let me ask you a question then. So that song,
Morphed him.
that song was written like many moons ago, right? Are there women still today in 2021 who will hear a song like that and go, oh, wow, I would love a guy to feel that way about me, do you think?
Absolutely.
Do you think people are still listening to songs in the same way where they appreciate lyrics in the same way? Because the music industry's changed and music moves so fast nowadays, doesn't it?
Well, put some love on the screen, ladies, if you felt like this is the kind of song that you would like. See that heart? Did you see that one
I
heart?
saw that one heart. I did see that one lady in the back of
Hey,
somewhere.
let me put some hearts on
Oh,
there.
that's you. Okay, cool.
That's
Joe Brooks is saying totally. Yeah. Pamela's like, yeah, lyrics. So yeah.
Just the lyric, just let me build my whole life around you. Come on.
No
on.
pressure again, guys.
Oh, come on. Maybe we need to add a little bit of pressure.
Oh, big shout out to Daniela. She's saying yes. Hope you're good, Daniela.
Yeah, thank you. That is one of and it also is not one of his I mean, while it's a very known song, it's not one of his, Try a Little Tenderness or I was trying to think of another song now.
Sitting on the dock of the bay. Did you do that?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, Sam said sounds needy.
That's just Sam. That's just Sam.
Yeah. Yeah, those kind of songs for me, I think that era of men they knew how much they wanted a woman and they made sure she was aware of that. And they didn't feel any lack of being a man by saying, baby, baby, please. Right? Yeah. And I think sometimes men want women to be like that, but they're not willing to give that back. So
say that again.
I don't know. Men want women to take care of them and give them, their life. And then men are just, they don't, some men, not all men. So let's not.
Of course. Of course.
But you have to be willing to expose your wounds and, be vulnerable. That for me is a very vulnerable song. And yet he was still all man. Like he wasn't a wimp.
Yeah. But I guess that's
like
what that's what makes a good love song, though, isn't it? You exposing it or expressing, your true emotions, your true feelings, how that person makes you feel, how you'd like that other person to feel. That's what makes a good love song. Yeah. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. And I think it's why men generally, and this is going back, the Percy Sledges, the Otis Reddings, the Marvin Gayes, the Teddy Pendergrass, the Luther Vandross. These are why these men, men wouldn't be able to say something, but they'd put on a turn on the lights. They would put it on. And that was kind of what they were saying, right? Whereas, and women love songs are very different. Women love songs are, how do I live without you? They're kind of like all.
I've got to say, those whiny love songs, they you know what I call them? I've created an album called Songs to Kill Yourself by, and I'm on about volume 10. And that song would be on the first volume of Songs to Kill Yourself by, because, I mean, they're great lyrically, don't get me wrong, but maybe it's just the way they're sung. It's just, I mean, Sam mentioned needy. It's just like, oh.
Yeah, well, I think too, if I sang this song and I said, interestingly enough, if I said to a man and I sang it and I said, I just want to build my whole life around you, there are men out there that would be like, no, that scaring me. I'm not interested in that. Man says it, women are like, yes, right? Not all women, some women.
Of course, of course.
Look at Sam, she's all depressed.
Daniela says, I think the younger generation miss out on love regarding music and lyrics. Lyrics are far harsher now. Yeah, yeah. I'd agree with that, Daniela. We spoke a little bit about that earlier, didn't we?
Yeah.
Nicola
loves
a good love song.
I got you, Mark. I got you.
It's romance, innit? All women love a bit of that, or they're lying. I think they're lying if they don't. Sam said it's depressing. Yeah, there you go. Simply Beautiful by Al Green, superb love song. That's a great song. But you know, we're going back to the era of different artists. We're talking about the cornerstones. We're talking about the legends, aren't we? When you start talking about Al Green and Otis Redding and those people.
But those are songs that are not even being played in houses anymore. You know, how are our younger siblings or children supposed to learn about love and what love meant to us? Because, or you know, growing up in a house where your dad listened to the Last Poets and he listened to Bob and he listened to Peter Tosh and Bunny Wailer. He was listening to teachers. So you heard that, and then you bring that to your children.
Yeah.
But you just decided, I'm not going to listen to any of that, and I'm just going to listen to Chris Brown all day long. You know,
it's true.
Going to grow up this kind of musical education, and you know, and to me, like, I find the music today is, you know, girl, your ass looks great. Let me get you pregnant.
But just to touch on the point that you mentioned about, you know, the Otis Reddings and those type of songs not being played at home anymore. And it's true what you say, but music, there's so much music that comes out like every day, every week. I mean, when those days, when albums came out, you play those albums continuously. It wasn't like you played it until, oh, there's a new album tomorrow, so I'm going to get that one. I'm going to get that one. I'm going to get that one. So it's a shame because there's so much great music which still will stand the test of time, lyrically, musically, but the way music moves so quick nowadays, I don't know. I think it's a bit of a shame, you know.
Yeah, you know what I would like to see is a challenge to people in here in who are listening to send a song, post a song that you think that you know I would enjoy, because I want to learn about different kinds of music. And you know, sometimes it gets a great introduction to a new band or a new group can open your musical possibilities. So yeah, we just need to bring back love music, not romantic music, just love music.
I think last year, obviously, with the whole Black Lives Movement and the whole Corona thing, I noticed that on the house scene, there were some real songs that were written about Black Lives Matter. And it was interesting to see, it was almost like the passing of the baton from the soul music, the funk music that had the messages, to like house music. I mean, in the last year, there were some real powerful songs that come out that had some really strong messages, you know, on the house scene as well. So it just shows messaging, you know, messages within the music. It transcends through all the genres, doesn't it, really? Or it can do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think especially in house music in the last year and a half, especially the women, you know, have come out and sort of put out stuff that heals. Pam Underhill, Pam Weathers Underhill. That's a song that we both like. And it's something that you can get all up in your feelings about.
For sure, man. Expression.
All right.
My song now.
Yes.
Yeah. So you mentioned something a little earlier. I think we've kind of both been mentioning it about messaging. messages in music. And
yeah.
And I'll always go back to growing up as a child, because that's where my love of music came from, through my dad. And my dad being Jamaican, and a very conscious black man growing up. Most of his music had some kind of message, whether it was a love message or a conscious message. But I remember learning about Christopher Columbus, and I didn't know who Christopher Columbus was until I heard my dad play this tune by Burning Spear, which, for the guys that don't know, Burning Spear was a Jamaican reggae act. I think they're still going from like late 60s, 70s. But the lyrics were saying Christopher Columbus is a blasted liar. So I used to sing this song because that's what the lyrics to the song was. And then as I got older, when I learned about, you know, how he claimed to discover these places, and, you know, and then I thought, wow, but I learned this because I learned about Christopher Columbus in school, like proper learned who he was. But in my mind, so I went home that day and I said to my dad, like, you see that song Christopher Columbus, is it true about he turned up on an island and claimed to know? And he goes, yeah. And he goes, and he said to me, this is why I play this music, so you can get educated and you can learn. And I just thought, right, so music's not just about dancing. There's power in music, there's power in lyrics and things like that. So, I mean, in the whole song, it talks about, you know, what about the Arawak Indians and the few black men who were around here before him? The Indians couldn't hang on no longer. Here comes first black men and women and children. So hearing these lyrics, I just used to sing the words, but not really knowing the full significance of it. But it's a song. I remember that day in school coming home and saying to my dad, Christopher Columbus in that song, and you're saying he's a liar. He goes, are they saying he's a liar because he actually said he claimed to be somewhere? And my dad was like, yeah. So this is why you have to listen to conscious music, music that, you know, is saying something to you, music that is teaching you something. And he also shared with me that a lot of the times, that's how a lot of people learn about their culture, was through music, you know, through about history, through music, and especially through the Jamaican and Rastafarian culture, where their music is heavily about history and stories and things like that. So this is just one of those songs that, even when I hear this song now, I'm like, wow, powerful music, you know. I think, and
also played commercially either, was sort of always, you always got the sense that you need to listen to it in the basement, you know, under lock and key. Excuse me. So Burning Spear. Still, well, you told me, what was the movie?
Rockers.
Yes, the scene by the water.
Powerful scene. Powerful scene. I mean, for guys that have seen the film, I know a couple of people, there's a scene where Winston Rodney, the lead singer of Burning Spear, the lead actor in that film, he gets his motorbike stolen after a party, and he goes to knock up Winston Reedy's door, and he's telling him the story. So they go for this walk and they sit by this bank by the river, and the lyrics in the song is meet me on the bank by the beautiful river. So they're actually,
we'll YouTube link.
You're gonna send it?
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat after.
Yeah, that's true. I'm trying to read some of these comments, and they're just coming up real quick. Columbus,
some people are...
Columbus is the devil's son. Reggae tells truth of reality. That's why it don't make the mainstream. Yeah, we know that, Mark. You know that already. So true. Yes, Lynette, jam blasted liar. Music is communication and expression of feelings, emotions, and key messages. Well said, Angie. Absolutely. Big up to my pops. Thank you, Deborah. There's a few links on there. I'm not sure what the links are, guys, but
I asked people to put music.
Okay.
That they wanted to.
We'll have a look at that. Big shout out to Chad Rivers. He's been with us for the last 10 years for sure. Big shout out to you, Chad. Thank you for joining us tonight, as per usual. Music is life. Absolutely. Damien, DJ Dapper. Reggae is earth music. Big shout out to this guy, Damien Smith. He's one of my guys. I got to big him up, DJ Dapper, you might know him as well. He's one of my guys that influenced me a lot. Him and Johnny Rebel.
Yes.
Those guys, they're my influence. Big shout out to you, David, man. We got to link up soon. These guys are music aficionados. Like,
nice.
These guys will go hungry to buy records. These are guys that, like, yeah, these are my guys. Big shout out to you, Damien, man. Good to see you.
Is this like a tin, what do you call it? Tin mackerel? Is this tin
mackerel moment?
moment?
When you bought too many tunes and you're looking, thinking, boy, I'm going to be eating pasta and tin mackerel for the rest of this month, you know. But, you know, those guys are the real guys, man. And I have to shout out my real guys every time I see them, man. You know what I mean? So big shout out to you, Damien, brother. So, yeah, so just to finish off on that song, I mean, this is just one of many songs, you know, from the reggae genre that, like, taught me a lot about history. And again, I keep going on about my dad, but he's a big influence for me with music and listening to certain music in a certain way. And, you know, what is he saying to you? What do you hear when you listen to that? What does that mean? You know, I remember people coming to my house to listen to like Bob Marley albums, because not everyone had record players them times, or going to my uncle's place as well. And they'd sit there and play the same album like 3-4 times, probably smoking a whole weed, a bunch of ganja as well, and vibes in, you know, taking it all in. But it's like an education. And what I learned was, as I got older, and like, you know, some of my dad's friends would be listening to music and I'd kind of just be in the background. I start to pick up on the vibe a little bit and think, well, okay, this is a reasoning session. That man are talking about worldly things, and, you know, so it wasn't just that. But Burning Spear, got to shout them up. They're one of my favorite acts as well, you know. Big shout to Paul Winston. Great post and video. Cool.
Crystal Lavelle entered the room.
Hey,
so
Crystal.
I'd like to.
Hello, good evening from London, Crystal. I hope you're good. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. All right. Are we ready?
I'm ready.
My third song is called "Talk to Me" by Jill Scott.
Hey, I've got a Jill Scott tune for you as well, actually.
Okay. So the reason why I love this track, because it's a track that kind of went, it was like R&B. This part of it goes very jazzy, like big band.
Yeah.
So, and I love it because the juxtapose between these lyrics and the jazz music is a thing. So it says, close your eyes, relax your mind, cool down, baby, just recline. We've got the time to let it go, just unwind. I'll be cool, baby. I'll be quiet if you like.
Wow.
I'll put the song. Sounds nice. Thug Passion on Ice. Or a glass of Merlot. I'll, if you want, I won't front. I just need to know what you know. Talk to me. Let it out.
That sounds like a letter. Sounds like a letter.
Yeah.
It sounds like a love letter that's been sung.
Yeah, so basically the gist of the song is he comes in the house and he takes off his boots and he sits on the couch and he's sort of in this mood. And she's doing everything that she can do to lessen the mood for him, but he's not responding. So finally the music changes and she goes into this. Well, she's like, okay, let me try. And the line before this is, let me try a different tactic. As how she was coming at him,
every angle,
sort of on, yeah. So when she changed the tactic, the music changes as well.
Wicked.
And so it brings to this other, and then she sings very jazzy. So yeah, that's.
You might have to post that song for sure.
Yes,
you know, just
I will.
For the guys that don't know that song.
Yeah. This is one of my. I mean, Jill Scott in general.
Hey, you know how I feel about Jill Scott already.
Yes, I do. So
evening going out to Jackie. Thank you for joining us, Jackie. I hope you're good. Long time no see.
Jill Scott for me. Oh, what's the tune called? Talk to Me. Yeah. Okay. So
I got a Jill Scott song as well. But this time in this song, you know, she's showing you all that love. In this song, Jill's about to take out a girl. in the song called Getting in the Way. Evening, Mum. Hope you're good. My mum's joined the stream. Oh.
Oh, hello.
Hi. So the tune Getting in the Way. So for the guys that know that tune, you know it's about, she's got a new guy now, but the ex is in the picture. And the ex is not letting up, and the ex is trying to get in the way. But it's like the second verse in the song is where she's like, she's had enough now. And then she's saying like, sugar honey girl, fly, fly away. I've been a lady up to now. Don't know how much more I can take. Can you sing it? Do you want to sing it?
Yeah, let me get the lyrics.
Sing that, because it sounds better. I mean, lyrically you can hear it, but everyone, I'm presuming people know that tune. Sam knows that tune and a few others do as well. But it would sound better if you sung it. If you want to.
It's that. Yeah, of course. Oh, so it's that part, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you can sing the whole song if you want. I don't mind. I listen to Jill anyhow. Shall we? I'm going to ask the guys online. Shall we get Miss? Do you know? You got the lyrics or the whole lyrics? Do you know the lyrics?
Yeah. Yeah.
Shall we get MissFly to sing the whole song a cappella? Or just that one verse? I don't know. Let's see if anyone actually responds.
You got to tell them to put the hearts on the screen because it's hard. The lyrics keep moving. I mean, the words keep moving.
Okay. Hi, Claudette. Claudette is Deborah's sister.
Yes. Hello.
Lynette Douglas is giving us thumbs up. Sam saying, yes, sing it. My mum's saying he. I'm not sure what she meant there. Is it hi? Hi, Mum. Samantha Blackburn saying yes. Big shout out to DJ Just Too Bad Justin. Nicola Bourne saying yes, sing it, MissFly. Crystal saying it's a yes. I'm gonna get a drink at this point.
Okay, well then I'll wait back. Oh, you got a drink. Okay. Okay. Sister girl, I know you don't understand, but you're gonna have to understand. He's my man now. What you had is gone. Our thing is sweet. Our thing is stronger than any lie you can tell on me. He knows my heart, and that's the part. Your roots are dug up, so you might as well give up. I see your intention. You can't handle the truth. He let you go a long time ago. Now it's time to cut him loose. Can't get in the way of what I'm feeling. Hold up your lighters, baby. Can't get in the way of what I'm feeling.
Big tune.
Okay. Sugar honey girl, fly, fly away. I've been a lady up till now. Don't know how much more I can take. Queen shouldn't swing if you know what I mean. But I'm about to take my earrings off. I'm Vaseline, girl, you what's going on? Beating your face, girl, you better chill.
That's the line.
You back before you get back down. You better chill. You better relax yourself. He's my girl and nobody else. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Put some hearts on the screen for MissFly, please, for singing that, man. You know, a cappella, off the cuff. But the lyrics say it all. It's the bit when she goes, chill, and I mean it. Like she's like saying, hey, what? I'm warning you, you know. I'm warning you. I'm warning you.
Yes, women can be brave, but you better back down before you smack down.
The message in the music.
Exactly.
If there was ever a message in a song, man, that one's clear as day. You know what I mean?
Clear. Yeah. Some people don't. So that's a good song.
See.
Good choice.
Loving. Thank you very much, MissFly. Look at the hearts on the screen. Haha, this is why I love this tune. Sam just militant. She says she likes love, but she's quite militant at the same time.
Sam?
Yeah. She said that's why she likes it. You know that, Pamela? Sam, give me some Vaseline in her.
Let me take off my earring them. Yes. We all know that. Yeah, you take out your girls like
seriously. If none of you guys have not seen Jill Scott live, once the world opens up and concerts, you must go and see her. Phenomenal artist, man. I saw her at Brixton Academy probably nearing 10 years ago, probably. It was like a nightclub. Like people were dancing, like a DJ was playing music. You'd forgotten that she was on stage singing live. She just lit up the place. And you know what I loved about it? She came out in some real, just like casual, almost like a tracksuit, like really just laid back, casual, and she just walked on the stage, didn't even say anything, and then she just started singing. And then it's just like, yeah, she's powerful.
Before performing live in the last couple of years, I used to wear stilettos all the time on stage. And I'm a girl that once I'm committed, I'm committed. I will wear them all night long. And I will make sure that I can walk at the end of the night, not like clod hop. But I remember going to the first gig that I had done in a long time. And I had the stilettos in a bag and I had my Converse on. And I thought, yeah, I'm just going to change my shoes. And then I looked at my feet and I thought, how are you going to keep these on? And it was the best show I ever had because I was just comfortable and I could move and I can, I can, what do you call it over there? Skank. Skank.
Some 2 foot skank.
Kitchen. Yeah. And not worried about teetering and tottering. And so, now when I perform, I can wear a stunning dress, but I'll always wear trainers. So,
but that's cool now, though, isn't it? Really, fashion's changed and styles have changed now, isn't it? Really, it's more about comfortable and cool than
yeah.
Stylish and uncomfortable. You know.
Yeah,
what I
well,
mean?
look pretty and sing like a cat who's being tail is caught, or you could look like, and sing like a. I can't even think of something you could sing so beautifully like.
But yeah, man, Jill Scott, she's for me, she's a bit like Erykah, game changer.
Yeah.
In that industry, she definitely changed it, and I think you mentioned it probably on the last 10 for 10 that we did that.
Yeah.
She kind of gave you the confidence, but it was cool to not sound like the mainstream R&B artist and still smash it.
I remember the very first song that I heard from Jill was this Getting in the Way. And the very first song Erykah was on. And both of those songs were kind of slapping around a bit because I thought to myself, I have a lane. Here's a lane. While I can do all of the other stuff, I never quite felt comfortable. So those two women paved a road for, they paved a road for women like Adele. They paved a road for like Amy Winehouse. They paved those.
Yeah.
And also they paved roads for women who weren't just docile singers singing about romance and love, waiting for daddy to get home and play housewife. They were women who were like, I deserve better. I can do all of this. Another Jill Scott, what is the song? How does the song go? And I can do all of this, but he needs you. That song, I forget how it goes now, but they gave real love. It wasn't romantic love, it was just love.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's man.
It is a great song, man. It's a timeless one. And you know what it is? What I like about that song is one of them songs that, I've seen girls in unity on the dance floor singing this lyrics, It's I suppose someone would call it girl power or whatever, but I remember this one particular party, there was about 10 of these ladies, man, and they were going in, you're getting in my way. I was like, whoa, powerful lyrics, powerful song.
That's a great song.
Chad mentioned a couple of singers on there. Cy Smith, Konya Doss, love those girls as well. Those ladies, I should say, great singers.
Yeah.
Do you know Cy Smith and Konya Doss? Have you heard of those artists?
I've probably heard of the songs, but maybe we hear a lot of songs and not necessarily. Yeah. But I'm definitely. I mean, Chad, it's Chad who said it, right?
Yes.
Send me some stuff. Send me some stuff. I'd like to hear.
Thanks. Put a link on the comments, Chad. If there's anything that you want to hear in particular or want us to hear, or anything that you think we should be hearing if we haven't heard it yet. I like listening to new stuff. I like listening to new artists I've never heard of. In this case, I do know Cy Smith and Kanye Dos, but I like it when people send me new independent stuff that no one's heard of or deserves. A bit like when me and John used to do our show, the Morpheus Soul Show, we prided ourselves on playing artists that weren't mainstream or playing songs that, even like, if we did like tribute shows, you know, like say an artist passed and, you know, most people are doing the tribute show, we just do like remix and B-sides.
Yeah,
I have playing like, you know.
That I wasn't in at the time of the Morpheus Soul Show, but I admittedly listened to every single show.
That's a lot. Thank you.
I know. I'm by myself. I got time.
I've got to big up Chad as well on the stream. He's like, no lie, this man's been was riding with us way over 10 years. Yeah. Like when our show was early in its infancy, like we weren't even, you know what's interesting is just that moment of just thinking, like, I remember me and John having a conversation, like we was doing the show and we said we're playing songs that no one really heard of or knew, and we was like, is that what we should be doing though? Maybe, and then we just thought, then it was like a eureka moment. We like said, no, that's our thing. So it's a bit like you finding your lane and knowing like, cool, I can sit here or we can play this particular type of music. Yeah. And people love it. And Chad is just one of those guys that, you know, big respect to Chad. Thank you very much, bro, for following us, man.
We remember we were having a discussion about Jill Scott's song, Do You Want It On Your Baby?
Yeah.
And I said to you, that's a type of music called go-go.
Yes.
We're like,
explain about that go-go stuff, because I'd not heard of that until you mentioned that to me. What is go-go?
There's a type of music out of Washington, and somebody will correct me if I am wrong. And it's a type of music that they play. It's a lot of percussion. And so in that particular song by Jill Scott, which I will add in the comments, she references the go-go instrumental, like the go-go sound. Okay. Now, if anybody remembers the song "Doing the Butt," doing the butt.
With what's his name? Not Humpty Dump, is it? No,
it was you. I think they were called UTF or U2. It was it was very popular. Go-go music was very popular in America, predominantly at the Black colleges, Black universities.
Okay.
It was like, so that song, I believe, was in the Kid and Play movie.
Yes,
no,
sounds familiar.
Spike Lee movie. School Days.
Oh, wow, I remember that movie.
Rob, yeah. Thank you. EU. Yeah. So EU
Rob's on point tonight, man.
I know. He's like rapid fire. So that type of music is sort of like swing. It's this, like, this is how you dance to it. It's just got this kind of instrument.
Kind of groove. Yeah.
It's like just pretty much that. And it's huge. And when
it sounds like big band music almost.
It's like a cross between
like marching band kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like funk and marching band. And then when I was in Charlotte, North Carolina, they had there was an event somewhere, and this band came out, and I mean, you know, you have your drummer, you have your set music, and it was, the floor was packed. People could not get enough of that go-go.
Yeah. Shout out to Morph Tim. Morph Tim's got to go. So shout out to you, bro. We'll catch up soon, yeah?
Yes. Thank you, Morph. School Days. Yes, that was the track. Movie.
Yeah.
School Days. So yeah, I mean, and in that particular song by Jill Scott, she references the go-go. And yeah. So go-go.
So we've only, how many tunes we've got left? What, one or two each? Two each left. So it's your track.
Yes. So Mark talked about it earlier, which is Simply Beautiful by Al Green. And
you went for the legends, didn't you?
I'm a lover, man. I'm a lover.
You went straight in for the legends.
Yeah. The lyrics are, if I gave you my love, tell you what I do. I'd expect a whole lot of love you. You've got to be good to me. I'm going to be good to you. There's a whole lot of things you and I could do. Simple.
Look how simple that is.
No fuss.
No.
You know,
So it just shows you really, like, some of the lyrics that we spoke about earlier tonight, they've been really kind of intense and really detailed, and you know, they really take you on this journey, or they're you know, they're creating a picture for you.
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, just very simple, straightforward lyrics, which are equally as powerful, but just less complex. So it's words, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Back to words again.
And I also think that it's not just the words, it's who's delivering the words. Because, you know, if it's a man that you trust, and, you know, or a person that you trust, in a relationship context, it's a very simple thing. If I treat you well, you treat me well, and we can get on with things. You know, you don't need to make everything so complicated. Love is not complicated. Never has been. We just overcomplicate it. So.
maybe that's where everyone's going wrong then. Maybe everyone's over. I mean, what do the guys online think? Do you guys think that love is simple, or do we overcomplicate it? Who wants to contribute something and let us know what their feelings are? There's a lot of people watching, but not a lot of people commenting.
We call them the
Rob.
sign.
Let's ask Rob. Rob seems to be leading the way with the commentary tonight. So, and you, Chad, and everyone else, do you think love is simple and we overcomplicate it? Just as a general question, just yes or no. Yes, it's simple, and just yeah. If you think it's simple, then just say yes. If you want to, that is.
I know. I see a lot of. I have this vision of people typing and then deleting, and then typing and then deleting, and then typing and then deleting.
They're changing their minds. Yes, it's complicated. No, it's not straightforward. Yes, it is complicated. Yeah. No, it's not straightforward.
Oh, we got one.
That was powerful, man. I love that song.
Hmm?
Oh yeah, I think we got to allow for the delay as well. I forget.
Yeah.
Love is simple.
Joe Brooks, no.
Okay, cheers, Joe. Love is simple, but we make it complicated with our own desires and needs. That's a good point, Rob. Don't complicate it. It should be simple, but sometimes, as Jill says, getting in the way. Yes, Nicola. And you know what happens when people get in the way? The Vaseline comes out and the rings come off. You know? Crystal, yes, it's simple. People make it complicated. Maybe that's our next 10 for 10. How do we simplify love? I think I'd have to go to university to go and do a course on that one, boy, because I don't know if I've got the answers for that.
Yeah. You know, love is just, it's what we're brought into the world with. And as we grow and as we have experiences that cause some wear and tear on the heart, you get to a point where you can overcomplicate things and start to skew your views about what love is. What I do know for a fact is that when you find the good love, you feel the difference between what you thought was love and what is real. So that's pretty. Are you smiling?
I'm just laughing at DJ Marcus's comment. Love is expensive. Bro, we got to pay. We've always got to pay somewhere, somehow along the line. Whether it's with our hearts, whether it's with our pockets. There's always a cost to everything in life. But yeah.
Watching.
I have a 16-year-old daughter.
No. Oh, Monk is watching.
What? Monk Julius? You're lucky we're online. I'll tell you about yourself. What's going on, Monk? We need to get Monk on here as well next time.
I know.
Sure.
You got to know about Monk. That is some serious listener viewer discretion.
Yeah, man. That's going to come with adult warnings because, yeah, Monk's a real guy. Monk is a real dude.
That's right.
Shout out to DJ Marcus. I'm just saying. I hear you. Yeah, you see, look, Have you seen Monk's comment already?
I did. I did. But Monk told me on no uncertain terms that he was going to be a guest on the Flying Solly show.
Yeah, you know. So
Okay.
yeah.
Do you have anything more to say about the love things, or are you?
No. I'm good. I just realized we've been on for like an hour and a half already, you know. Time flies.
When you're fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So I got my last two tunes, but this one is one of my favorite songs. In every version, every remix, just every version, even a reggae version, and it's Jones Girls, Nights Over Egypt.
Come on.
Which that's just like another timeless song. And you know what's weird again? When we was kind of preparing for this stream tonight and reading the lyrics off the paper. So what I did was I was listening to the songs, but then I'd actually just read them. And the description in this picture, Nights Over Egypt, is just phenomenal. So it goes like, there's a sky in the east over pyramids at Giza. When there once lived a girl, she ruled the world, then down the Nile. He came with a smile, he was the king, she was the queen, under the moonlight. Your eyes won't believe what your mind can't conceive.
Ooh. Nights Over Egypt.
Bars.
Absolute.
So, you know, lyrically, like, descriptive, you know what I mean? It's just, it's funny how there's artists that can talk about subject without like being directly, they talk about it in a certain way. And this just sounds beautiful.
Yeah. I think it gave a perspective for all of us who our connection with Africa, because for a lot of people, not a lot of people, there are some people that think Africa is a country, and they don't think about that there are countries within the continent.
The diaspora.
Yes. And all Africans are Nigerian or Ghanaian or you know, but
South Africans.
Yeah.
East Africans, Somalian, Botswana, the North Africans, you know, yeah, the whole thing.
So this for me was, I mean, and when you think about the people before us as artists, when Dizzy Gillespie takes this infamous picture in front of the pyramids, that was Black excellence at that time. And so a song like this encouraged you to think about Egypt as this beautiful place.
Or Kemet, as I learned later on in life, doing your own research and looking into your own history, you know.
Yeah.
And that's a valid point, because at the time, you know, when the song came out, it was just a great song. But then when you become more educated and you learn about your history, you know, when you hear about songs like this now, I listen to this song on a higher level now, you know, because of what it's picturing and where it's placed.
Yeah.
And the history of Egypt to the world, you know, I know it's quite a deep thing, but to me it's all relative. So, you know, we like to go in on these things, you know.
Brother Brown.
We've got a question from Kagiso. It's kind of off topic, but we can go for it. What's your perspective on choosing money over love? Fly, you can answer that one first. That's a straightforward question for me to answer. So money over love, on choosing money over love. What do the guys online think about that?
So I think that love can give you opportunities to make money. I think that money can...
Can money buy you love?
No, it can't buy you love. It can buy you a hell of a lot of lust, though. But it can't buy you love.
But lust is all right for a little bit, though, isn't it?
Well, yeah, until your money runs out, and then you just lustness.
When I hear the word lust, right, lust to me sounds like a big cloud that eventually just evaporates.
Well, yes. I mean, this is the thing. You can have love in a relationship and have lust in the relationship, and that be tied to love, right? But you can't have lust alone.
Mm.
It all. And to me, money can't buy real love.
Of course, yeah.
But love can make you money.
Mm.
So
So, you
this
know
is,
what, I'm going to ask Kasigo, who posed the question, what's your
yeah.
perspective on it? Sam's saying you can't buy you love, which is true.
Beatles have a song about it. I can't buy me love.
Yeah, it's been said. It's been said already, isn't it, man? You know what I mean? Okay, Sam, money is more stable. Money's not stable either, Sam.
Yeah.
Look at the last year. Money, what does money mean when you can't go nowhere? Nothing. It's probably like for the first time that the whole world's had a similar kind of playing field. That doesn't matter how rich you are, it's what you have, you know, in your home, in your family, you are really. Money's not stable.
I'll tell you something. I just, do you remember when a couple years ago, Greece went into this major spiral?
Yeah. The economy just crumbled, didn't it?
It did. And the first thing that the politicians sent the policemen to do was to lock off all the banks. So you, as a person who had money in the bank, they were not even allowing you to take your money out of the bank because they knew that if you took your money out of the bank, then their economy would crumble. So money, not stable at all. It's volatile. Can be volatile.
Big shout to Simone. She's commenting, experiencing a glimpse of real love. I would choose love every time. Yeah, man, I'd choose love over money. You can't wrap up with pound notes in your bed, can you? You know, you can't get a hug from a pile of money.
No.
You can buy hugs, I guess. but that ain't love, though, is it?
Yeah, but you're not
Can I
going
have tenner's worth of hugs, please?
Yeah. So that's funny.
We're just jesting.
Monk, till the electric bill come. Sometimes you got to make your own heat, Monk.
Oh. Light a candle or two, Monk.
That's
it's
right.
Quite romantic. It doesn't have to be because the electricity's run out. We're being romantic. She don't even have to know the electric's gone out. Let's light up some candles. What do I know?
So I have one more song.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, let's read this out. AJ, read that one out, please.
Love is a kitchen. Wait a second. Love is a kitchen rubbish bag full of ganja, sitting off a cliff, watching the sun, vibing on 100 podcasts of the Morpheus Soul. Lit.
Thanks, Chad.
See, Sam. See, I like you. I like you a lot. Definitely love over money.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Love over money every time.
Yeah.
Boy, COVID-induced celibacy answer. Okay, for context. See, there you go.
Yeah.
You know. Okay, so. Yeah, thanks, Monk. Yeah, Chad's Chad, isn't it, man? Chad does what Chad does, you know. Is Sam drinking, Marcus? Is that what you're asking? Is Sam drinking? I'm not sure.
Sam's giving the love symbol. Yes.
Oh, bless.
So
love over money. Oh, I think. Was Chad trying to join in on the call? I'm not sure.
Oh, did it come up a green thing?
Yeah, I've got like a missed thingy. Yeah.
Oh.
Nicola says, "Love, love, love." Absolutely, man. Love over money.
Yeah, actually, that's a song too. Love, 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 love. Beatles.
Yeah. See?
La, la, la. Oh, Chad saying yes. He was.
Okay. Next time, Chad. We're soon wrapping this up, Chad. So next time for sure, you can jump in. You can jump in.
Well, when we do the Monk show, when we invite.
You know what? When we bring Monk on, and if Chad calls in, I'm not responsible for what happens on that stream at all, because there's some big characters out there, and they've got a lot of things to say, man. So that'll be quite funny as well as interesting, you know. Sam's drunk on love. Go on. What better way to go? What a hangover.
Soul Child. Love.
Big tune. Big tune. See, he's another artist as well. For me, it was a bit of a added a new flavor, you know, with his sound. D'Angelo, you know, a couple of those guys. Bilal, you know, they all kind of come out at that time as well, didn't they?
Yeah, it was sort of the Soul Aquarians with the Roots and Bilal. They were all in the same clique, so they all birthed this new sound, right?
Oh,
Jill Scott was in there too, and Erykah.
Yes. See, I mean,
the Soul Aquarius juice.
Super talented.
Okay.
Beautiful live. Thanks for Ace for showing me about MissFly. Oh, thanks, Simone. Thanks, Ace, for sharing as well.
Yeah,
Dwelly's a next cat as well. Yeah, for sure. Always love your
DC
Yes. And Common, yeah. I mean, the list is endless, isn't it? We spoke about this, that we could go into endless songs, endless lyrics, endless artists. We just started going on about 5. We could have probably spoke about 25 quite easily tonight.
Yeah. Well. Okay, so my last track is Other Side of the Game by Erykah Badu.
Hey, that's a big tune.
That is. So
AJ, are you a vocalist that I don't know of? That's Kagiso who posed a question about money over love. Maybe you should show him.
Okay.
I love putting you on the spot.
Do you? Well, thank you. Okay, so
Donny Hathaway, love, yeah, big tune.
Yeah. Oh yes, he said, love, love. Why you take so long to come to me? Oh baby. Oh, thank you. I forgot about that one. I'm gonna be singing that now all night. Okay, so my last one. Now me and baby got this situation. The brothers got this complex occupation. And it ain't that he don't have education. Cause I was right there at his graduation.
Lyrics.
And if I ain't saying that his life don't work, but it's me and baby that he hurts. Because I tell him right, he thinks I'm wrong. But I love him strong. What you gonna do when they come for you?
Hey, big tune.
Working out pays the bills. Yes. That track.
That's a hard tune.
That track for me, one of the things that I appreciated about her.
Let's have some hearts on the screen for MissFly, please, guys, on the screen. Come on. Let's show some appreciation. Let's show some appreciation, some love, some hearts, whatever it is. Show something. Show me a signal. Show me a sign. You know?
I just all of a sudden went into CK. Well, give me a sign if you want the rewind.
He would love that. The fact that you did that. You know that.
Of course.
So, Casigo, does that answer your question? She has got tracks out for sure.
Yeah.
Under got tracks out right now.
Yes, I do. That track for me, one of the things that I loved about Badu was that she gave love to all men despite what they did. She gave love to women despite what they did, what they, you know, if they were good mothers, bad mothers, struggling mothers, whatever they were, she gave them respect and love because they were mothers. And in that particular song, you know, she's sending a message to people that just because you see a guy on the corner selling dope doesn't mean he's not educated.
The line where she says he's got education because I was at his graduation. That's lyrics, because that's saying to someone, don't look at this guy and think this guy's a nobody. I was there, you know what I mean? I was witness to that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And I don't think anybody ends up on the wrong side of anything just by chance. I think there are obstacles and things that, you know, people struggle with. But yeah, so that song for me, and in choosing that for me, I listened to all 4 albums. I'm sure there's more. And my newfound appreciation, as well as being an older listener now.
Yes, for
right?
sure. For sure.
Even On and On, when she talks about Badu with $3.06.
Dimes.
She's talking about
You,
360.
was it you may laugh, but you didn't do your maths or something like that?
Did not do your math. Like 1, 2, 3. Y'all hear that? Like 1, 2, 3. The world keeps turning. Oh, what a day, what a day. Yeah, she's talking about being born underwater, the earth.
Have you ever seen her live?
No. You know, one of the things about Canada, which is really difficult, Toronto wasn't always the hotspot city. So when people like Jill came, tickets get sold out like that. And speaking about another artist, but not a singer, when Dave Chappelle came here, he put on 5 shows. They were sold out in less than 20 seconds.
Wow.
He put on 7 more shows, and they were sold out in 25 seconds, which I did
there's
manage.
a market there. People are hungry, man. They want people to come out, don't they?
Absolutely. But that's one of the struggles with, I think, being here sometimes. And also, you know, when you go to Atlanta and they would have like, you know, like a once a month party where you could go in and all of a sudden you have Jill Scott on stage. You know, you just got your rum and coke and you're like, okay, I didn't know Jill was going to be here. It was sort of the thing. That was the environment, right? So, oh, Lynette has to leave.
Big chat to Lynette. You know, we like to go in on these chats, man. They're never like 20 minutes. You know, but we got to go in, man. You know.
Okay, so you have a last song.
My last song, and it's fitting really because this absolute legend. He marked 40 years of passing away just yesterday. So of course it's the legend Robert Nesta Marley, and it's one of my favorite songs from him. One of the many is This Love.
Oh.
Yeah, that's my jam, man. That's my jam, and it's just about again, it's similar to a lot of love songs really. It's just people expressing how they feel about someone and how they want to, you know, but there's some lyrics in there which, and it kind of ties in with what KG, he said to call him KG, so I'm calling you KG now, yeah, about money over love. And the lyrics in the song is about, I want to love you every day and every night. We'll be together with a roof right over our heads. We'll share the shelter. Now of my single bed. We'll share the same room. For Jah will provide the bread. I don't know, man. I just got a thing about real, like, wholesome, simple, like, lyrics. It doesn't have to be overcomplicated. If you're going to complicate it, then you got to come with like Erykah Badu level of higher level. You know what I mean? Don't just be mumbling, jumbling. Yeah. But this song, oh man, every time I hear it, I want to love you. I want to treat you right.
I want every day and every.
Do you think that there's a difference when men sing love songs in comparison to when women sing love songs?
Absolutely.
In terms of, you know, traditionally men showing emotion less than women, some might argue. Obviously, that's not the case in every case. But the point I'm trying to make is there a different feeling when a man says, I want to love you, I want to treat you right, you know? And what is it that makes it different? What is it that makes it sound different?
This is something I'm going to stand behind. And there's some things I stand behind, some things I can be maneuvered. But the thing that I stand behind is that I think men take love a lot more seriously than women think they do.
Thank you.
And I think men's brains are just this sort of like one, you know, a heat missile all the time. So when a man tells a woman that he loves her, it's like the vulnerability is, women are born, we're predisposed to be vulnerable. We're predisposed to be givers. This is my opinion. And so men opens up to show a woman what he feels. It's taken him a while to get there, but once he does it, it's sort of like, here I am, please don't hurt me, because I don't do this often, and this doesn't always.
I'm taking my coat off now.
Yeah.
You know how long it took me to take this coat off?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if I put it back on again, I'm going to put on a scarf, and then I'm going to, I'm going to saran wrap myself so I never have to take it off again.
It's
so
true.
The fact
it's a good
that
point that you make, though. Because there is this thing, I think, that women think that, oh, men, I've heard many women say it. He'll just move on, innit? He'll find another bird by next week. And you just think, no, we're not, men ain't robots. We have got feelings, There's some of us that get it wrong sometimes, but on the whole, most men are no different to women.
Yeah, I think I think both men and women have been fooled, and have been fooled for a long time. So women think that men are a certain way, and men think that women are a certain way. One of the things that I talk to a lot of people about is, I don't have any shame in telling a man how much I love him and how much I need him. I hear this, I don't need no man. Yeah, but if you had the man, trust me, you would need that man. Maybe the people that you've met made you feel bitter about what a man is supposed to be, but I have no shame in telling someone that I'm with how much I love them, I want them, and being that vulnerable. And I think that I provide that environment to have the same thing reciprocated. So that's the kind of love I want. But yeah, so I think that men are yeah. And with
thanks AJ for clearing that up. Thank you. I hope you find success in your journey in this search for love.
I will. I'm pretty blessed. I do have a Bob Marley track as well.
Cool. Which one do you have?
Chances Are, which is pre-Rebel. Was more we're doing this sort of slow trio thing with Bunny and Peter.
This is like before there were even Rastas. Those.
Yeah.
Because they redone a lot of their old songs.
Yeah.
On later on in the Wailers' history, didn't they? A lot of the old songs that they did from like way back.
Yeah, they were doing
like Rocksteady days, and that before the whole Rastafarian movement started, and that kind of that element of reggae. Yeah.
So the lyric that I like, which is it's funny. So the chorus is, chances are some might not hold out. Chances are, hang on right now. Chances are, oh chances, you're my chances. Chances are, hang on right now. I love that, because he's saying the woman, you're my
chance. It needs a chance to get a chance. Give me a chance.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
man.
Those are big tracks.
Yeah, that's why. Again, Bob was. I put him in that category of artists that wrote very simply but very powerful lyrics as well. And he's like saying 40 years. He passed away 40 years ago yesterday, and his legacy is still strong.
Yeah,
it's still going strong.
And relevant.
And relevant, more importantly. Like when people write music that you can play in 30, 40 years time and it's still relevant, the message is still relevant. Unfortunately, that's usually a case that times haven't changed much, but it shows you that a good song will stand the test of time.
Absolutely.
And Bob's definitely one of those. There's a great book about him called Lyrical Genius, actually. I have got it here, but I'm really not going to go and get it. But I'll tag the link in where it talks about his writing and how he wrote. And I don't know if anyone in the UK, there was a couple of documentaries on Sky last night about him, showing some really good footage about Bob Marley and the Wailers and their background and their history. But what I found, like, looking into Bob Marley, that the whole his inspirations were around him, like everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like when he spoke about Three Little Birds in that song, apparently he was sitting on his back door or on the back of the house,
Mm-hmm.
and he was building a spliff, and you kind of sitting on this frame of the door, and he just saw three birds just sitting there, and then the words just come, three little birds sitting by my doorstep singing sweet songs. So when you hear him talk about in the book, you know, how he wrote these things, everything around him was inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a great demonstration of how to use something negative into a positive through his music. Because you know the song Small Axe, do you know the story about how he came, about the record label? And when I heard that, but you know what though, talking like we talk about Prince being a little guy and powerful, Bob Marley was gangster, you know.
Yeah, it was tiny.
He was a powerful dude, man. Yeah, you know. But yeah, for me, he's one of the best. So we had to get a Bob Marley song in there, you know. There's some people still hanging on, man, not way past their bedtime in the UK, but I guess there's guys over in the EST time zone that are just full of life still.
Hey, it's a beautiful evening here. I've had to close the curtains so that I could get the lighting just right, but it's pretty bright.
Okay, that's cool.
So
Rob saying Bob was and still is the man. Absolutely. There'll never be another Bob Marley on this planet, man. You know what I mean? And what he did musically and from a small place in an island.
You know, I had an opportunity to visit the museum in 9 Mile. Yes, 9. And it is where his grandmother lived. So it was their property. Okay. And all of the things that you're talking about, when you go, you see evidence of it. So it talks about laying on the stone. It's there, and you can tell it's it. And they have where the little bed, the single bed. When I tell you that bed is little, it's tiny. Like most people's big screen TVs are bigger. Like and the room is tiny. And so and the wonderful thing is they have the Rastaman chant, and you sort of get in this spirit of being, and his tomb is there as well. And so when you go in that room, the minute you open the room, your body, the hair on your arms will stand up. You just know you're in the presence of this
greatness.
Not yes, but also the greatness of everybody who brings stuff and love. The love in that room is huge. When I went, I didn't want to be in the room with anyone else because I was weeping. And you know, it's sort of this uncomfortable thing, but you know, and then you turn and somebody else is weeping, and then you know, you're collectively weeping.
Spiritual, man. It's a spiritual definite connection there, isn't there?
Yeah. I mean, we don't in this day and age, we don't call people prophets. We don't, you know, claim them. But if there was ever a prophet, I mean, that would be the one.
Absolutely. I mean, and the message that he brought, and you know what as well, that I find the fact that he was actually mixed race, to me is so symbolic in terms of the message that he always was trying to put out. He's always about peace, always about love, always about, you know, trying to just makes you think about the world in a different way. You know, that's what I liked about Bob. He wasn't aggressive. Even when he was talking, you know, that we should stand up for our rights or, you know, Exodus, it was always like in a positive way, rather than, you know, we're going to go kill these people, we're going to take them out. And Bob wasn't really about that, you know.
No, and I think that the whole thing when he talks about the oppressor was never about a color. The oppressor was, and you know, if you want to get into the socialized aspect of it, the oppressor is never about color. It's about economics. So, you know, economics has done, the 1% rich has convinced a race of people that they are some, you know, will join us and you can be us, but they'll never be them. They just need the, you know,
just enough to,
the worker, right? So one thing about Bob's music was that he didn't separate the two. he was trying to join the two. And so every song, when you hear about the oppressor, it's oppressor. It's not the oppressor.
The white man or the Chinese man or this man, or
exactly.
It's a real kind of holistic view on the world, because there's oppression in every country, in every, you know, walks of life, really, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. Is the video Is This Love? That's the one that shot at the birthday party, right? The video
with the children.
Love it. I remember seeing that video when I was younger, and just oh, I have a funny joke, a funny story. There used to be I used to see the video and I used to love it, and I don't know why my brother thought that Bob Marley was my father, but he did. Every time we would go to, like, they had a department store or grocery store, and all the photos would be outside on the, you know, people would be selling pictures of famous people, Elvis specifically. One of Bob, and my brother, every single time, is that your dad? Is that your dad? I think I probably told him yes a bunch of times, you know, just to mess with him. But yeah,
man, Bob's a legend, man. Absolute legend. And the fact that he didn't live very long as well, to me, just
was 36. I don't know,
it just rings home that he was here on a mission.
36.
35 or 36, nearly 36.
Well, think about that catalog. Think about the catalog of music. I mean, he ate and slept music for years.
Young man. But to be so inspirational at a young age, from your 20s into your 30s, you know, in terms of human life, in terms of, like, you know, people often look at elderly people as being wise due to their time on the planet, due to their experience of life. But this person comes in a very short time span, talks about things that are going on all over the world, goes all around the world, spreading this message. Didn't even, I remember even in this documentary last night, Chris Blackwell was saying, or even a couple of the other promoters and stuff, that they couldn't bring him in to meetings because he was a Rasta.
Right. Yeah.
So I mean, they'd get like a white representative to go in and speak on their behalf, or to play their records. And then when they realized that Bob Marley was a Rasta, some of them didn't play the songs. But Bob Marley was loved that so much that he had people around him. One guy got kidnapped and got dumped in a car and drove around until he played the song. And when they were telling the story, they were saying that Bob had no idea that had happened, because he would have never, you know, said, like, go for that man there. You know, he probably would have said it out loud, like, but he was loved by so many people that people were ready to go, like, and say, what? For Bob? Let's go and talk to this guy here. Because there were a lot of false promises, as you know, music industry is just a hard business anyway, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Big shout to you, Sam. I know we kept you up way past your bedtime.
Yeah, well, we talked about what we wanted to talk about, and
then some.
And then some, as usual. Join us again on episode 3. We'll have to see. This is another thing. I would love to have people tell us what they want to talk about.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a post and see what the feedback is.
I'm down.
But I think we can also try and get Monk on, who's one of your producers for a lot of your great songs that you've made as well.
Yes.
Just to get him in on the chat. And yeah, man, it's good to talk. It's good to have a conversation about things, you know. I think there's a lot of things going on in the world and so many opinions, and we get bombarded with so much information, you know. Sometimes we don't actually really get a chance to decipher and break things down, and, like, you know, do we really understand all the information that we're fed? Do we really understand the information that we're getting and sharing on?
Yeah.
Does anyone take the time to ask questions and say, I don't actually know what this is all about, you know?
Yeah.
So I like a good old chat, and people that know me will know that.
Yeah,
and I own it with my heart. I don't mind it at all.
I dig it. I dig it. There's a lot of people who chat and just chat pure nonsense.
Absolutely. But those are the people that are uncomfortable with silence, though.
Yes, I can attest to that. I can agree with that completely.
Silence is golden sometimes, and you know what I mean. And
another song, silence is golden.
I told you, song for like every occasion. There's a song for every moment, every mood. And that's what I love about music. You can create your own vibe. You can create your own settings. You know.
It's funny because we're about to call this a wrap, and I'm already in my brain going, I need to delve into that catalog, and I need to delve into that catalog.
Music is an endless thing. You know. Bob Marley said it. Like, money is numbers, and numbers will go on forever.
That's right.
So you'll never be happy if you're chasing money.
That's right.
And music is in a similar way. It's just endless. You know.
The other thing too is I find that one of the things that boggles my brain is that I will never hear all the music. There is music in places of the world that I have never and will never hear.
There's records like there's only like 10 copies in the world. Can you imagine that?
No.
Just 10 physical copies in the world, for example. They're really rare tracks.
Yeah. You know what's really, what I find about this era, I would like to put some of my tracks on wax. Vinyl, sorry. To have them, because I can't physically touch it.
I'm saying it's not tangible now. It's just a link.
Ones and zeros.
You see, you know what I mean? So it is. So yeah, man. Yeah. Should we wrap it up for tonight then?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for joining us. That was awesome. Thank you for contributing. And you know, I'm going to go back and listen to some of the YouTube videos that people put on there. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to hear what people deposited.
Absolutely.
What did you? What did you think, love?
Of what, tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always interesting. You know me, I could talk about music for years, for days. There's so many elements of music that I could talk about. So this is like right up my street. But it's nice to get people involved as well. And also it's nice to kind of engage in people in a different way, because usually, you know, you're usually recording or in a studio performing when the world's, you know, open, and I'm usually stuck in with my guys, you know, in front of a camera. And doing our thing. So it's nice to you know, just have a bit of a chat really and just talk about some stuff. But I think we might we'll put our heads together and maybe put something out, and you know, if there's anything that people want to chat about or talk about, you know, we can I'm happy to do that if you are.
Maybe we should do a top 5 of the worst songs.
Because there's been some
brutal.
Hey, listen,
brutal.
The music world is a real mixed bag.
Yeah.
And none of it's wrong and none of it's right. It's just what it is. Because there's someone that, for that, every wrong song we say, there's someone that loves that song.
Oh God. You know, the song that would go on the top 10 for me is "Come on, Ride the Train." And ride a choo-choo train. Come and ride the train.
See, I don't even know that song. I don't think I want to know that song. And you know what? We're not doing that show.
Come on. Anyways, it was.
It'll be fun though. Maybe
song.
We can get people to send in their worst track.
Yes.
Like the worst track that they've ever heard. Like any genre, no boundaries. Just like the worst songs that you've actually. Think, my God, who wrote this? Someone paid money and someone bought it. Someone must have bought it.
Remember the song "Uh-oh,
uh-oh"? Yeah.
Fine. Na-na-na.
Yeah.
That
but that song in the club was banging though.
Horrible. It was horrible. horrible, horrible. But
Oh.
I do agree. Even now when it's played in the club, you'll see people going,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it.
oh,
Rob's been our co-host tonight. Lumi
yeah,
D. That's right.
it's like a fire, on fire.
Big shout to Lumi D if you're watching, yeah.
Hi, great song. Love it. Go girls.
Or the one-hit wonders. What about the guys that only ever made one album?
Oh,
There's artists that only ever made one album.
yeah.
Or concept album. There's so many different lanes to talk
Worst
about.
cover song.
Hmm?
Worst cover song.
Oh, I don't like doing worst things. I like doing the best things.
Okay, we'll do the best cover songs. No, I don't like that one either. Maybe we'll talk about sports. No.
Maybe we should just leave it to those people and like let them decide because yeah.
Yes.
No, I'm not feeling it.
Fine. I agree.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So till next time, 10 for 10, Solly Brown.
MissFly, ciao, ciao.
Until next time, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. And yeah, we'll see you around on the next 10 for 10.
Yep. Bye.
Yeah, bye.